afternoon, sponsored by the Amel Agency, but this radio program is called the Hispanic Chamber Connection. Hispanic Chamber Connection, Hispanic Chamber or Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Obviously, connection is because our goal is to connect with you, the audience, and talk to you about some really important topics, such as the one we're talking about today, because we're going to be sharing information, sharing experience with a person who's a very successful Hispanic mom, entrepreneur, and business person. Her name is Martha Rios. Martha Rios, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here today.
You were just on the show a few weeks ago, and
That's
back by popular demand, Martita. So thank you for being on the program. So as we've talked about before, this radio program is designed for our members. So a big deal for us. Even the person that came today, Angelica,
yes,
who does a catering service. It was really interesting to her that we have a radio show just for members. Because she had mentioned that she wanted to come and visit, but then she got a big order and she got busy. But nonetheless, this program is for any one of our members who has something to say. That's a big deal. Because if you have something to say and you don't have a way to say it, then it gets frustrating as a business person.
That's right.
Because I've done that for many times. And we know that Martha has a lot to say.
I do.
And she'll be saying it when the time comes. So right now, let's talk a little bit about the networking event that we just attended, Martita. We were just at Spring Creek Barbecue. That's right here on 45 and
Research Forest.
Yes, Research Forest and 45, right next to, really close to Home Depot. And so it's right here. It's right down the street. We meet there every week, and I love meeting there. I think it's a great place, especially now that they fixed the air conditioning. Because last week, you were here last week, right?
Yes.
And it was hot there last week.
Yes.
And we even talked about it here on the show. So last week it was warm. Today they fixed it, and they always do a great job. They love having us there. I sometimes worry because some of our members, and if you're listening and you don't eat, this is for you. We're in a restaurant and they expect us to eat. That's just, I guess that's what restaurants do, isn't it? They expect the people that show up to eat. Anyway, so when Spring Creek Barbecue sees that a lot of us don't eat, they kind of make a face a little bit, and they should. So we always ask our members, come on, guys, if you're hungry, or if you're not hungry, just do the best you can.
Just get something.
Something, so that they'll be okay. So
an appreciation.
And most of us do, so they do a good job. But we like the place because now it's cool. About 40 people were there today. It's a pretty good group.
Good turnaround. Knowing that tomorrow is going to be 4th of July, a lot of people took advantage of,
And to those people,
getting on vacation.
To those people, if they're listening, if you're listening, please listen to this. Tomorrow's the holiday, not today. Today we still do business. We can still exchange, Same thing. Thursday is the day after the holiday, so it's not longer a holiday, I used to always be amazed, Martita. I don't know about you, but I lived in Mexico for about 10 years. And so I did all of high school and all of college in Mexico. And the amount of holidays the Mexicans take is unbelievable. I mean, really, it's like every month there's a 3-day weekend or something going on. They call that a puente. Or a bridge. So if the holidays on Thursday, you take Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way up. If the holidays on Wednesday, they would probably be taking Thursday and Friday off. Just to make it a
longer weekend.
And it's just how we do it. It's the culture, and it's no big deal. It's kind of amazing that Mexico still, is actually a very sound right now, sound economy, and there's millions of people living there, and it's fine. But it's a very different way of thinking, So when I would see that, I would always say, man, it's too much. But at that time I worked in hotels in Mexico, so I always understood the holiday for what it was. During holidays is when you work the most in hotels.
Right.
Anyway, so that tradition, I think, comes from Spain. I'm not even sure where the tradition comes from, of puentes and of excessive sleeping.
Yes, I think it's from Spain.
It's those Spaniards that messed us up. Anyway,
the siestas.
And the thing that's really interesting, too, is to understand that man, or you and I, right, human beings, are the only beings on earth that don't sleep during the day. That try not to sleep during the day. That try to stay awake. All the other animals, they sleep.
They take a nap.
All of them sleep. All of them take naps. Just look at your dogs. Look at your cats, your chickens, whatever it is.
It is actually recommended that you take a 10-minute power nap.
Really?
Siesta. Yes.
Every day? Or?
Yes, every day, a 10-minute. It just recharges your mind. Yes.
At what time do you do these power naps of yours?
Well, usually it depends on what time do you wake up in the morning. So it's like you wake up and it's probably about 5 hours later to take a 10-minute power nap, and it just refreshes you.
Okay.
And then you feel re-energized and you can think clearly now.
Okay, so I should think about power napping. Anyway, all right. So I know where the tradition stays, and yes. So bottom line is, tomorrow's the 4th of July.
Yes.
Tomorrow's a holiday. Everybody will sleep in and be poolside during the day or something. Are you going to do something like that, Martita? Are you planning on it?
I'm planning on it. We're checking to see if it'll happen.
Okay. Yeah. And one way or the other, all kinds of different things happen. It's a lot of fun, just to go out and be with friends and family.
That's right.
And celebrate the holiday, But then on Thursday, you go back to work. So.
Actually, I'm taking off Thursday.
Really?
Yes.
So what about Friday?
I'm taking off Friday.
So you're gonna be today. You're off. That's it until next week.
I am. Yes. Well, technically, but I mean, I'm available if I'm needed or something. So I'm always
yeah. Remember they're
on
listening.
Call.
Okay. So
yes,
I think the boss is listening right now. So it's okay to say you're always available. Anyway, all right.
No, and I am. I'd like to be available.
Yeah. Well, it's necessary just in case of emergency stuff like that.
That's correct.
All right. So tomorrow, then we have that. But on Thursday, we have lunch at Tamagaucha. That will take place. So here it goes again. Listen to this, guys. If you're listening and you're part of our Chamber of Commerce or not, but if you participate in our meetings, tomorrow, Wednesday, there's no meeting. It's supposed to take place at Cape Cod Cafe, but the chef David, decided he's taking the day off.
Oh, okay.
So he's not going to work, which means the restaurant's going to be closed, which is pretty amazing. But that's just, he's from New England. He doesn't care.
Okay.
He's off.
Oh, well.
I think he does. I know he does care. He's just off.
Right.
But he's not going to be open. So on Wednesday, the chamber's not going to have a lunch. But on Thursday, Tamagaucha Steakhouse, Brazilian Steakhouse. I know, it's Brazil. It's okay. Regular lunch. Okay. So the thing about Brazil, I think most Mexicans were expecting to get beat in the World Cup. What do you think?
I think so too.
We already know. Yeah. I mean, we beat the Germans. We don't care. See, that's a big deal. Germany, and a lot of folks don't know this, but Germany was the World Cup champion. I mean, they're the world champion 4 years ago. Last World Cup. Number 1 in the world. Mexico went up against Germany and beat Germany. They beat their pants off. Well, not really, but 2-0. Okay. So we were feeling really good. Then we played South Korea. We beat South Korea as well. So Mexico was like, wow, right?
Yeah.
But then we played the Sweden, and of course we got killed 3-0. So by the time this game came, we were already, on a downer. We were like, yeah, we can't do this, guys. And that's just how Mexico is. Every World Cup since I've been alive has been the same.
Really?
We start strong, and all of a sudden something happens. We go, yeah,
they get comfortable.
We can't do this.
Yeah.
they get uncomfortable winning.
Right.
So they lost, and they lost against, of course, Brazil, and 2-0, and so it's a sad day, but we knew. That's the thing, people. Oh, well, they're gonna win. Maybe they'll win. Like, they're not gonna win. They never win. Anyway, so bottom line is, it's all in fun, but that's another big tradition in Latin America, another huge tradition in Mexico that is not shared by the Americans, and that's soccer. I remember when I've gone to soccer games, you can feel it's so different than playing or than going to a football or a baseball game. Mainly because the crowd, the way the crowd behaves in a soccer game is so into the game that, like, in football, you can. There's timeouts. You can stand back, or you can go buy beer if the other team has the ball, whatever. But in soccer, everything happens now. That and the game is just so simple, and it's a very difficult thing to do. So when you were a younger person, or still now, Martita, did you ever go to soccer games?
Not professional soccer games. It was mostly like neighborhood soccer games, but that was about it. So not too much exposure there.
All right. Well, but it is a big tradition.
Yeah, it is. It is. In Mexico, it is. But not here.
All over the world, except here.
Yeah, except here.
It's incredible.
Yes.
Anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk more with Martha Rios. Martha Rios is with Altus Consulting. They do all kinds of really cool stuff like
retirement planning, college savings planning, employee benefits, wealth planning as well, among other things.
So we're going to talk to Martha about different traditions, different Latin American and Mexican traditions, and also, of course, some of the work she does with the general public and with you as a business owner. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Remember to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on your computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
So you can tell me, this is Dr. Carlos Sanchez, and welcome back. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show, a program for members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but also invited guests. We haven't had one of those invited guests on this program since we started, because our members are in line, all trying to be a part of this radio show, mainly because it's a benefit, but also because it helps members and helps people just sort of focus their business and focus their activities in their mind. So if you are a member and you would like to be a part of our program, send me an email. It's likely I will ignore it. So send me another email, or talk to me when you see me and I have my calendar out. Ask me, Carlos, can I be on this? And guys, I'll never deny it. I'll never say no. So just insist. Don't expect me to reach out and find people. We have 460 members, so I really can't call everybody and find out if they want to be. If you want to be, just let me know. And just go with that. Just email me or text me, get a hold of me, and we'll talk. Okay, so we're here with Martita or Martha Rios. Martha Rios. Isn't Rios really rivers?
Yes, it is. In Spanish.
You could be Martha Rivers.
Yes, I have been called that.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's the thing.
That's a nickname.
A nickname. Well, you can actually translate your name. I can't. Sanchez is Sanchez.
Yeah.
So Carlos Sanchez, very ethnic, stays Spanish.
Charlie.
I could be Charles. I was at one point in my life, I was going to change my name to Chuck.
Oh.
Chuck Sanders, like the Colonel.
Oh.
Colonel Sanders,
That's
remember?
right, yes.
It didn't work.
No.
I got too much. My family just would have hated me, and it didn't work. So anyway. All right. So I'm here with Martha Rios. Martha Rios is with Altus Consulting. They do all kinds of stuff, but especially their specialists. No, that was very poorly said. Let me say it again. But especially what they do is specialize in things like 401k.
That's correct. Retirement plans. Mm-hmm. It could include 401ks. It could include any other type of retirement plans, depending on what is the best fit for the company. Okay. So that's what we sit down with the company owners or decision makers and try to put a plan together that best benefits them, that best fits them. And we are actually the advisors or brokers. So we actually look for the best carriers and the services, and we monitor them throughout the time that we are with them. So we're engaged.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So Martita, would you mind just starting from scratch and saying, my name is Martha Rios and this is what I do?
Sure. My name is Martha Rios and I'm with Altus Consulting Group, and we specialize in 401k plans. Not only 401ks, but I want to say generally corporate retirement plans. So it could be other than 401k. Maybe it's just a simple SEP or an IRA. So it could be various different things. But we engage with our clients, and we actually think thoroughly to see what is the best fit for them on not only cost, service as well. And we are engaged all throughout the time that they are with our company.
And are you bilingual? Are you able to present bilingual?
I am. We are. Well, I am bilingual. And aside from being advisors, we also provide education on a participant level, and also to our clients as well. So
how can somebody reach you?
They can reach us by calling our main number at 281-367-5393. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That's basically, that's the commercial. And I like that you did it in under a minute.
Oh, good.
So the reason why it's good under a minute, because that way Twitter will allow me to tweet.
Oh.
If we do commercials that are, or segments, pieces that are longer than a minute, Twitter just cuts them.
Oh, I see.
So LinkedIn, I think it's 2 minutes. Well, all the other ones are longer except Twitter. And I think, what do you call that one? Instagram. It's more like 10 minutes. So they're cool. Yeah. So everybody else except Twitter. So that way, when we go out and like what you just said, I'll put it on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and of course it'll go on to our YouTube channel. That's 5 different avenues.
Thank you.
This radio program is broadcast on FM, so it's 104.5, 106.1 FM. Right? So everybody knows FM is
awesome.
It's cool. But also, if you look at the camera, right? So we're also on public access television. And,
nice. Well,
and so hello.
Hello.
I know. See, before we used to ignore it, and that was no good because then they see us making faces and stuff.
Right.
Now, okay, we know you're there. But so we have different medias. It also goes on podcasts and just different forms. So that's part of the biggest reason why this program is important. Not necessarily because somebody's listening to us across the street that's going to come and hire you,
right?
But because you have it going everywhere.
Correct.
So that's why that commercial was good. And somebody did mention that today at our meeting, that our members are better now. They are. I know they are, because after all this craziness that we put them through, but they're a lot better at being concise.
Yes.
And about getting to the point.
Yes.
Whereas I know that a year ago, and anybody that comes to our chamber that talks too much is basically asked to not talk so much.
Right.
It's like a culture thing now,
Yes.
So that's important because
less is better.
Oh, no question. Or concise is better.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're missing anything. It just means you don't fluff it up.
Right.
Because I know at the beginning, a year or so ago, I would tell people, sit down. I've heard enough. Stop. And so we got a reputation, but I think it makes a lot of sense.
But I think it is also good. I mean, just adding on as a complimenting the chamber. I think that is showing people of what is the other person listening. So we're you're making us aware of how much are we talking? Are we talking too much? Is it overboard? Are we losing? Is that how we lose attention from our potential prospects?
That's interesting because we do start. We talked about that to our members all the time, and we want to be sure that they know. I mean, it's never anything. I don't know these people, so it's not personal. I'm not trying to go after anybody, and I never tell people, that they have bad hair or that they're overweight. Stuff. I don't criticize people.
Right.
I talk about the stuff that they're doing in business that could be improved.
Correct.
I don't do it as much as I did before because I know that it's not always asked for, but at the same time, I'm comfortable now with the way people behave. Whereas before I wasn't. Before it was just too much noise and too many people competing for attention, and that doesn't work like that. So it's not a meat market. It's an organized workshop.
Right.
And they go, okay, so I'm talking too much now. Come on, Martita, what are you doing? Okay, so all right. So what kind of businesses would be most interesting for you to talk to that would hire Altos Consulting?
Well, we do specialize in small business companies, and the businesses that our services would be beneficial for these businesses would basically be ongoing businesses that have already been in business, are established, and now are thinking for either the executives or the owners in saying, okay, I've invested all my time, my money into building this business up. Now it's time for, to take care of me. Or not only that, but sometimes you have very valuable employees. And if you're not offering any type of benefits, sometimes, competition can come and, steal them away, offer them a better deal, maybe same pay, but, or maybe lower pay, but better benefits. And sometimes that's sometimes what businesses actually face. By you offering something, or these businesses offering something, entitles them to actually take care of their employees.
Sure.
And not only that, but employees feel taken care of, as well.
That's a big deal, because people are not, in spite of everything we would love to think, people are not that loyal because they have to measure, and they have to measure things by thinking, okay, is this going to benefit my family, or would an alternate job that offers me better benefits and better things benefit them more?
Yeah. Well, we've seen instances on small companies that sometimes they've been in business for 30, 40 years, and it's generation companies that are passed on. And sometimes there's a very loyal employee, that has been there 15, 20 years, and started when they were 19 and now they're 50. And sometimes for those loyal employees, you want to put something in place because that's, employers know how much they make and all that.
Yeah.
And being loyal to their employees, they want to offer them something as well. So sometimes that's the reason, for your employees. Maybe the owners don't need it. They're a good standing financially and so forth. But, employees, they care. There's companies out there that care for their employees.
Very good.
I want to make sure that they're prepared as well.
We're with Martha Rios. I was going to say Martha Flores, but it's Rios or Martha Rivers, whichever you prefer. She's with Altos Consulting. Altos Consulting is an organization, a company that provides all kinds of services that have to do with employee benefits, with maybe even employee retention.
That's right.
Different strategies, different things that you can implement in your business. And I know that you guys work with businesses of different sizes, from bigger companies all the way to mom and pops almost, right?
Right. And sometimes it's not only talking about starting a plan in a company. Sometimes they already have a plan. Sure. Some of our clients come to us because they say, we need help. We have issues within our retirement plan. We need to strategize. We need overlooked. And that's how sometimes we get hired by them as well as advisors so we can fix their 401k.
Sure.
There's a lot of things that are included in there. So it's different reasons. So it can be reasons because of the owner, personal reasons. It could be because, employee retention. So it can be many things.
Okay.
So that's what we sit down and we review. Very
good. And so what kind of issues come up? Like if I'm an employer and I give my employees, reasonable benefits, like, they get medical, they get vision, dental. And they have not a real 401k, but they have a savings plan.
Okay.
What kind of issues would I potentially face outside of the ones we've talked about? Because you have some really good ones. I have some good employees and their loyalty would be a big deal. What kind of things do you guys see? Like, tell me one example real quick before we go on break.
Sure. Sometimes in retirement savings, what we usually see, it's sometimes, in a 401k, there's a lot of regulations and testings that have to be done by the IRS and Department of Labor. And so one of the things is sometimes the owner wants to have that plan because of personal reasons, because they want to save as much as possible.
Sure.
The business is doing well. But if there's not enough participation by the lower rank, then the owners cannot put away. They're limited to how much they can put away. So that could be one problem.
So when we come back from break, Martita, we'll explain a little bit more of those problems.
Sure.
And we'll talk a little bit more. I'm here with Martha Rios. Martha Rios is with Altos Consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you can text me, email me, send me your, smoke signals. You just get a hold of me right now. Ask her any questions we can ask her on the air. When we come back, we're going to learn more about Altos, but we're also going to learn about escaramuzas and some other Mexican traditions. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez. president of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Amel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Amel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Amel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Amel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Amel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.amelagency.com. The Amel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
We're back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. I'm here with Martha Rios. Martha Rios is with Altus Consulting. Altus Consulting is a group of people, professionals that provide everything from 401k management all the way to strategic planning for implementing things that help you retain your employees, like 401k, but also all kinds of other things. By far, one of the most competent companies we've seen in a very, very long time in this realm. So if you have any questions, especially because Martha Rios herself is bilingual, and that matters, guys, because participation in your companies when you've got plans like these really can impact the pricing, everything. It impacts everything. And if you have employees that mostly speak Spanish and someone unable to reach them, then you're at a big loss. So you have to team up with companies or with people like Martha who can actually come in there and talk to employees in a way that makes sense so that they will participate.
That's right.
Is that properly? I'm trained now.
Yes, you are. You did excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is important to talk at the level, of the Hispanic or Spanish speaking as well. And it's very important for them to also identify with their presenter or their speaker or whoever is basically educating them as well, for them to feel free to ask questions.
Wow. Let me tell you guys this. So one of the reasons why Martha is so effective at what she does is because she holds true in her life and her family a lot of Mexican traditions that a lot of folks don't even know about. So growing up in Mexico, I didn't grow up in Mexico. I did high school and college. So my formative years, so to speak, or my socialization years, 14 to 23, 24, were done in Mexico. So growing up and learning about the different traditions in Mexico was also always fascinating to me, how different, some of these things are. And Martha, the way I met her, we were talking about this earlier also, is through social media, because what got my attention about her was the fact that she and her family participate in a very, very, it's a pretty old tradition, a Mexican tradition, that I've never seen something like that in American tradition, although we do have a lot of things similar. But these are skirmish, where 10 to 15, in this case, teenage girls, young women, let's just go with women, get on horses. They don't get on the horse like a regular person, like I would, right? They do it sideways. What do they call that? Side saddle or something?
It's side saddle.
That. And they ride these horses at such speeds, and you can see the danger in all this. And that's a tradition. And they're dressed beautifully in typical Mexican attire. And so the whole thing in Spanish is called escaramuza.
That's right.
And Martita, you're like a coach of these people, and because I've seen you on Facebook and I've seen you on some of the videos you've posted. I mean, you're out there, directing stuff.
Well, I'm not the director. There's actually a director that flies from Mexico.
So
actually,
you're an involved parent.
I am an involved parent.
Okay.
Yes, I am, and also help financially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, this is a tradition. This we had exposure on this, or I became exposed to this when I was like about 11 years old.
Oh, okay.
And so ever since then, it was like a dream of being around the horses and just the dynamics of the team and seeing all the, I want to say all the arts about riding side saddle and everything that these ladies have to do.
Yeah.
And so these teams are actually divided between, I want to say there's little girls as early as 6 years old.
Really?
Actually riding.
Do they ride ponies or real horses?
No, real horses. Yeah, real horses. And so they divide them between teams. So if they're like 11 years old or younger, they have their own little escaramuza. So we call them little escaramuza because they're for
little
niñas.
Babies.
Niñas. And then we have 12 years and older. And as you know, there's no age limit. We have people on there, that are.
I've seen some old timers.
60, 65. And as long as you still do it, you can do it. That's fine.
Now, let me ask you this, Martita. What is the point of it? What are they trying to accomplish? Because I know they compete.
They do.
Is it for skilled riding of a horse, for mastery, or what is it?
Yes, it is a mastery. Well, all these, there comes a times where there's tournament or competition time. And all of these teams are set up, are given a set of turns and whatnot of what they need to do. Yeah, the skirmish. Yeah. So they have to do that and they have to master it. And so there's points involved. So they start, let's say we call it the whole overall exercise may have, maybe 400 points or 500 points. And so at the time that they're competing, there's, of course, judges. And if there's a mistake or if there's too much distance, I mean, little things that probably the normal public would not even notice, they're just there for the show, right?
Sure, sure.
But there's competition. So there's actually distances. There's actually, if there's almost a crash or if, they got out of the way of that exercise. So there's points being taken off continuously. So whoever has the most points left, that's the team that actually wins.
Wow.
And so they start in state. So I believe there's about 6 teams now
in the state of Texas.
In the state of Texas.
Can you imagine? That's nothing.
Yes, and there's some additional, like in Colorado, Kansas, I believe, and then if they win, whoever wins in the state, then they compete against. There's another team in California. And then if
one in California,
I believe it's one in California.
Can you believe that? That's amazing.
Something like that. And then if whoever wins, then they go internationally.
So you guys just recently, your team recently went down to Mexico.
Yes,
but that's real. That's real, like the real deal.
Yes.
They don't play down there.
No. It was actually it was in Pachuca, Hidalgo, Mexico, and they call it La Cuna de la Charrería.
Oh, that's the birthplace of all this.
Of everything, yes. So it's not only it's about the charros as well. So escaramuzas are actually brought in whenever there's a charrería to be the intermission.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so they entertain while the real men are resting.
Yes, you could say.
Or they do the bullfighting. I mean, it's very similar to a rodeo in that, I mean, they have similar systems, like the point system and the judges and the horses. Right. But the art form is different. The finesse and the beauty is different. That's what gets me, because I mean, you go here to the rodeo in Houston and you see all kinds of stuff going on. I think the most entertaining part of all that tends to be things like the clowns, or the babies that ride the borreguitos, when they ride. So there's different things that we do in America that but you just can't. If you've never been close to something like this, it's really a treat, and it's an amazing art form because you can see the danger in what they're doing, but they do it with such grace and such beauty. It's one of the only things I like about bullfighting. Not that I like bullfighting itself, but I like the grace, the beauty with which the bullfighter does what he does, because it takes
tactics
more than guts
to
get near a 500-pound bull.
Yeah,
and then do what they do. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and the same thing over here, because it's 8 ladies actually twirling and sometimes crisscrossing, and one false move, and there has been people that have gotten hurt, and thank God none of our team has been in that position.
So we're talking about escaramuza. Escaramuza translates roughly to skirmish. This is a form of competition of riding horses, but it's side saddle. They're dressed in these beautiful outfits with sombreros, and it's not what you imagine. It's something you have to actually see to understand.
Yeah, the best exposure that people can go see is actually when the rodeo is here, the Houston Show and Rodeo, the Gotejano at the arena.
You've been to that? Of course.
Yes. Well, our team has been there for about 5-6 years in a row.
Go? When does the rodeo come back? Or did it just come?
They just came.
I don't know.
So it'll be February, March.
Forget it. Next year. Maybe we'll go next year. Because I've never been. I just never found it appealing. Like in Mexico, they have feria, right? Yes. So they have these fairs that travel all over the country.
Right.
And the big idea there, it's just a big giant bar.
Mm. Well, you have to know why you're going.
Right.
It could be for the food. It could be for the rides. It could be for the animals. It could be for the drink. It could be for the music.
It's weird because you would go around and tour the animals and say, "Wow, that's one big bull right there. That's a nice looking cow." Mm-hmm. But since you're not in that, you don't live that kind of life. Mm-hmm. You just see it.
Exactly.
It's the guys that actually go there and buy animals and trade that are the original reason why these things exist. Yeah. Anyway, so that's escaramuza. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never heard of something like this, stay with us. Hang out with the Chamber of Commerce. We'll talk to you about these things, because this is what matters to me about a lot of the educational part of our chamber, is that we want to build these bridges of knowledge with our folks and with people, especially because we know how open Americans tend to be to all this stuff. People want to learn this. It's just that there's not a lot of organizations that actually teach it. They basically say, buy our tickets, come and see us. But we don't learn a lot about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's other things. And there's another one that I want to talk to you about when we come back. And that's the whole idea of serenata. I was a big serenata guy when I was younger. And so we'll talk about that. That's serenade, but we'll talk when we come back. So please stay with us. We're here with Martita Flores. Okay, I'll say it again. We're here with Martha Rios. Martha Rios is with Altos Consulting. We're going to talk more about Altos, and we'll talk more about traditions when we come back. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Lone Star Community Radio is ready for the summer. If you or anyone you know is looking for a summer internship, Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to learn the radio and TV business. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776. Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world.
For those of you who like your partners, your gumbo, and your music salty, well, we're here to help with the music. Julian Shea here, host of Lone Star Country Nights Thursday, your weekly dose of roots and Americana and all the music that makes this part of the country special. We stir in Western swing, honky-tonk, Zydeco, Texas blues, outlaw country, and put a pinch of red dirt, and then we smoke it over a slow fire. Then listen to the results Thursday nights on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 and worldwide at irlonestar.com.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
we're back. We're back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. We have some very interesting comments over the break just now with Martha Rios. With Altus Consulting, they do things like 401k, management of retirement plans, and so on and so forth. That's really interesting, Martita. That's really important stuff. However, I will say this. When I was about 13 years old, I fell in love. Right? You know, you're a kid, you see this girl, and your heart just begins to pound.
Right.
Oh my God, this girl's so amazing. You know, I still remember her name was Irma Hernandez. Irma, if you're listening, this is for you. No, she's not. This is 30 years ago, but you know, more than 30 years ago. But still, I felt that really powerful feeling of you know, okay, of first love, whatever. So I always thought, okay, how can I gain her or her approval or something, you know? So there was two things I would do really good at. You know, I would be the smartest kid I could be. So I'd be in school all the time. I could teach people in that way, you know. But that didn't work with her. She used to like the guys that played soccer or the guys that basketball guys. So she was more of a jock type girl, you know?
Yeah.
She didn't like the nerds. Okay, whatever. All right. So there was another part that, because I have 5 sisters, that their boyfriends would always would always come to my house like at 2 a.m. You know, from anything after midnight, right? So midnight to like 4 a.m.
Right.
But they would show up and they would sing. And they would sing using guitars and, you know, beautiful. And then I thought, man, this is so beautiful, you know. And being in love, I thought, oh, okay. That was the only time I've ever had feelings like this. But so I asked my mother, Mom, what is this music? And she goes, oh, your father used to sing to me all the time, this serenata thing. They call it serenata in Spanish, you know. And it's a way of demonstrating to someone that you're interested in, And so that tradition itself is to me one of the most beautiful traditions of Mexico that you've ever heard of. I mean,
it's very just romantic.
And we can still do, like, even now, you know, at whatever age, it doesn't matter. If I want to express myself to my loved one, I get a few friends. We don't drink until after. Well, that was the rule for us, because I'll tell you in a minute, but I became very good at singing and at playing guitar because I was always in love. It turns out she wasn't the only one. But at the same time, I became good. So my friends would ask me to sing to their girlfriends. And if you drink before you sing a little bit, it's okay, because, you know, it opens you up.
Oh, okay.
But if you drink too much,
like
then,
tequila?
Yes, it's terrible, because then you don't sing well and you don't care. You know. So what kind of experiences have you had with Serenata, Martita? What have you known about it?
Oh, well, again, the stories of my mom and my father and my mother. Also, they started very young, so they knew each other since they were like 7 or 8 years old.
Wow.
And so he started bringing serenatas when he was like 16 or 17, expressing the interest to my mom. And eventually it did end up in the relationship, obviously. That's where I was born from.
That's where you came from.
Exactly. But very romantic. My mom tells me about all the stories. And she also has 4 other sisters. I'm sorry. And again, all we call them pretendientes.
Yeah. What is that? Well, just a love interest. A guy.
Yeah,
somebody
a possible candidate or something like that.
Just to prove himself.
Yes. So they would get serenatas as well. So it's something very, very nice. But, you know, she also says, you know, what the reaction of the female should be. You know, you can't come out and just, you know, open the window or something.
Well, some would. They turn on the light.
Well, the light is a signal of approval. Like, yes, I'm interested in you, terrible, you know. Yeah. But if they did not turn on the light, then
bad news.
Then bad news.
Well, we wouldn't leave. We would drink and keep singing. This is all those things. I'm telling you, almost every weekend when I was like 17 or 18 years old, almost every weekend was not drinking every time, but a lot of drinking. You're a kid, right? And all my friends, because I could play, would take me and they would want to sing. And I go, okay, you want to sing? I'll play for you, whatever. And they'd sing whatever way they'd sing. And then there were others that would play with me.
Yeah.
But it was always, you know, 3. So it's a trio, right? So it's a trio.
Right.
So there's the guy playing the lead guitar. In Spanish, we call that requinto, right? Then there's 2 other guys playing 2 other guitars. And basically you're playing music that's all heartfelt. It's all very romantic music. And it's all pleading and saying, come on, you got to love me. But look at me, you know? It's so that's. But there's also other reasons why you take serenata, things like birthdays or anniversaries, Also, when you screw up and you have to go say you're sorry. I mean, so there's different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I never took one for a funeral. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, that's another one. So bottom line this is a tradition that it does not exist in America. I mean, Americans have no idea what this stuff is. But when they go to Mexico, they love listening to romantic music and the deals. And I've seen it when I've gone to like Puerto Vallarta, and there's guys there playing guitar. Americans love it too. But it's just that the tradition itself. If you try doing that here in America, now let's say tomorrow night I decide I'm going to take my friends to your house, Martita, and we're going to sing to you. How long do you think I'll last outside your house before the police pick me up?
30 minutes?
No, well, maybe. But, if we're all singing the way, because then, if you get really crazy.
Oh, yeah.
No, hold on. Because this is another thing. If you get like really impassioned, so to speak, or if you're going to get married, which happened several times in my family, you don't care anymore about being, discreet and intimate. You bring mariachis at 4 a.m, and everybody in the neighborhood hears.
Because you want everybody to know.
It's a crazy thing. And it's beautiful, though, if you're close by. But if you're far away and you can only hear the trumpets, it's not fun. Because you only hear.
You can't enjoy it.
Right. So anyway, all of this to be said that also in Mexico and Latin America, we have a very special way of expressing our love to our loved ones. And it's a very beautiful way also of achieving that love. It's not just some crazy random thing that happens at a bar when you do it the traditional romantic way that Mexicans like doing it, So I still look forward to going back home and listening more to that stuff. I still play that music,
Oh, do you? That's awesome.
Well,
we're going to have to hear that.
I don't play it to everybody. It has to be 4 a.m.
It's okay. It can be just us.
And there must be drinking involved. There must be margaritas. But no, but it's just one of those.
It's just going to be in this room.
There you go. It'll be right here. But it's one of those traditions, like I said, that you have to live it once in a life, because it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So escaramuzas is your big deal. So when do you guys go back to the rodeo, or when do you guys start practicing?
Right now, our team is going to take probably this year off since the captain is going to start a family. So it's
that's your daughter?
No, my niece.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My daughter, not yet.
So the captain is going to be a mommy.
Yes, she's going to be a mommy. So she's going to, unless I'm not too sure, but practices usually start. I mean, the team gets together again sometime in, I want to say August. Okay. And then they start practicing.
Yeah, when
again.
it's not that hot. August is still hot.
Yes. So it's sometime in August. So they can still ride, but they don't get their I guess their
like the official sort of get
their
together.
They're official until probably sometime like early September, August or early September.
And they should be riding them. They don't want to mess up and get rusty or anything.
Correct. So they continue riding anyway on the side. But that's when they get the formal of what they're going to have to be doing in order, what's going to be their competition exercise.
Ooh.
And so they start practicing. So whenever they get to competition, this means they've already been practicing for maybe 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
Earlier than that, in order to perfect it as much as possible until competition.
And you've gone out there to watch them practice that much?
Yes.
With your daughter being involved.
Oh, yes.
How many years has your daughter been doing this?
My daughter has been doing it now since she was about, I want to say she was 10. So she's been doing it now 10 years. Wow. But she started riding when she was 4, between 4 and 5 years old.
How old were you when you started riding?
Oh, I was a little bit older. I want to say probably must have been like 16.
Okay. So around the Serenata years too.
Yes.
Because, that's another big thing that we should talk about. I don't think we'll have enough time, but the debutante ball, the quinceañera is another one of those things, guys. I'm telling you, okay, in America, it's insane. And that's all I have to say. I mean, because in Mexico, at least what we do a lot of is we have a lot of padrinos, so a lot of sponsors, So like I would go home and they would ask me to sponsor the beer or the wine. And I would buy all the beer for the party. And that's how the family would have a big party. Because everybody would sponsor something, the cake and stuff. Here in America, they end up spending thousands of dollars on one quinceañera because the parents want to buy, the best.
Yep.
And it's $10,000-$15,000 for a party.
Yes.
That lasts only one night.
Yes.
But it's a big deal to the parents, not the kid.
That's right. That's true. Because this is the parents actually introducing their daughter to society. I had a quinceañera as well, and it was a beautiful one. and it was done between my mom and my brothers and sisters as well. It was a huge one.
Wow.
And then eventually, when my daughter turned 15, we did a quinceañera as well. And we didn't have the padrinos. We paid for everything.
Yes.
You
were a good family.
Yeah, but it is expensive. All our parties, we try to do it all ourselves, but it is expensive.
Listening to Martha Rios with Altos Consulting, they do everything from 401k planning all the way through all kinds of other things. If you want to talk more to Martha, check her out. Give her a call at
281-367-5393.
You can also go to their website
at altuscg.com.
There you go. So thank you, Martita, for being on the program.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Carlos Sanchez. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys here again next week. And have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Goodbye.
Long hair, blonde curls, sun kiss, six pack, surfer get you every time. And 2 shorter shorts and a polo.